education, you can graduate from high school with a certificate and or license ready to go to work, debt-free. We have a wide range of programs for every student ranging from audiovisual, law enforcement, STEM robotics, electrical, welding, pharmacy, patient care tech, and many more to choose from. That's why Brownsville ISD is the best choice.
For quality care, contact Mesquite Home Health and Attendant Services today. In Brownsville at 594 Jose Marti Boulevard, call today 956-361-5558.
We here at Mesquite want to wish all local athletes good luck in today's game.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles? How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
See art or create it. On South Padre Island, that's as hard as it gets. Visit sopadre.com.
My son Leo just graduated from high school, but also with his associate degree from Texas Southmost College at no cost at all. Not having that financial burden was so helpful to our family. That's 2 years we did not have to pay for.
All of my TSC credits transferred to UTRGV, and I am so grateful to go into my major debt-free.
Hija, tomorrow's your quinceañera. I need you to call your padrinos and tell them thank you for the salon, the tamales, the dress, el DJ.
Ay, Ama, you called them. I didn't even want a quinceañera in the first place. I would have preferred to have gone to Paris instead.
I will, fine. I'm gonna give you your surprise gift early.
Huh?
Guess what? You're going to Paris.
How?
Well, I've been saving mucho dinero all year in insurance thanks to Pronto Insurance.
Let's just get the quinceañera and go straight to Paris.
Call your padrinos right now.
Hey, okay, yeah.
Ask your agent how you can start saving with Pronto. Best price in town.
Been feeling a little stressed lately? Luckily, South Padre Island has plenty of Or maybe you'd rather have some aww. Now that you think about it, it's been a long time since you've had a good How will you ever decide? Choosing what to do on South Padre Island? That's as hard as it gets. Visit sopadre.com.
Our service is unmatched. Our commitment to our team and our community, relentless. Our products are innovative and exciting. Fruya, we're what's next now.
What's going on, everyone? Back for another show here at Luke Faria Motors in Brownsville, Texas. I'm Kevin Naro, joined by one of our very own now, one of our newest members of the Real Sports Life family, and that is Calvin Cadell. Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much, Kevin. It's great to be here.
Yep. So we're in the month of July, July 4th. Happy 4th, everybody. Hopefully everyone had some hot dogs. Maybe got some fishing in. I know I did. Fireworks and all the above that comes with July 4th. But Calvin, we're gonna start with your position, and forgive me for not introducing him properly. He's the athletic director at Juan Diego Academy. Mr. Calvin Cadell. I jumped ahead to where I said he's one of our own now, but we're just excited to have him. But Calvin, so we're early July. We're maybe about 3 or 4 weeks away from volleyball season, football season. So just what's the scoop at Juan Diego Academy?
So it's my first year transitioning into the athletic director for Juan Diego Academy, and last year I got hired as the head track coach and taught a few classes and transitioned to a full-time athletic director. I still run the track program. We are introducing cross-country again, and as well as coaching basketball. So I've got a few duties amongst the coaching staff itself, and we're a full staff. We run everything except for football, and we're expanding tremendously actually at the time. We have always been a great academic school. I've got nothing but great things to say about Juan Diego Academy. That's the reason I wanted to be a part of them. And graduated 18 seniors last year and over $2.5 million worth of scholarships, awarded towards those seniors. So we've always taken care of business as far as academics goes, and we have a very, very good teaching staff and a great administration that backs us up big time. And we're looking to expand aggressively as far as our athletic program goes. That's part of the reason they brought me on, was to expand and try to get more kids to attend. We're doing a couple things during the summer. We're hopefully get some camps going and a couple different programs. We have open gym coming up pretty soon, a couple times a week, and we're also looking to hire a couple different coaches as well, and it's gone well so far. Things are transitioning. They're going very well. We're looking to be competitive, and I treat my program just as any athletic director would. I mean, I don't care if it's 6A, in Houston or in Austin or, Juan Diego in Mission. This is where this is what I want to expand, and I want to be a successful program.
And for those that don't know, it's TAPS 1A.
Yes.
So there's some familiar opponents that some teams may, or some schools or programs may be familiar with. I know Macedonian is in there, along with Harvest Christian. So you guys are in a pretty good district.
Absolutely, yeah. And First Baptist too is in there, and South Texas Christian as well. Pan American out of Kingsville rounds out our district, and very competitive. I know Pan Am, we saw them last year at the regional track meet, and they did a very good job putting a couple kids into the state meet. Harvest and Macedonian are well known, especially in the basketball programs, and we're looking to compete as well. We're trying to get to their level and put a good product out on the court and continue to do things right on and off the court, of course.
So Calvin, again, just joining us here on Real Sports Live. When we come back, we're going to talk. We have the Highway 83 Volleyball League coming up, and then we have that starts tonight, in fact, and then we have the Venom League down at the Wellness Center in Edinburgh. That kicks off tomorrow night. So we have some schedules, and Calvin and I are going to kind of break down on what's going to be coming up really in the next 10 hours on Real Sports Live, and then into tomorrow as we get ready for the Venom League, and it's full throttle from here to the end of July with volleyball coverage from both these leagues, and then into the regular season. So when we come back, we're going to be talking Highway 83, and we're going to be talking Venom League in Edinburgh.
Sherryland ISD, a nationally recognized district focusing on quality and rigorous instruction where every child is immersed in a culture of academic success. A district dedicated to preparing our youth for the future. Our mission is to inspire, educate, and empower all students to reach their full potential and become leaders of the highest moral character. Sherryland ISD, excellence is our tradition.
Baby, just listen to me.
Escucha.
Do everything with
Prontísimo.
Out of home business or
Flexible.
Insurance for all your
Barato.
needs. You say you just got a new boat. Come on by and we'll give you a free quote.
Prontísimo.
Okay, who's singing? Mew. Hello?
Accesible.
Come on.
Pregúntale a tu agente cómo ahorrar con Pronto, porque más barato, nadie.
When you study local at Texas Southmost College, you can choose from over 50 associate degree programs, certificates, and workforce training programs. Register now for summer and fall classes and study local at Texas Southmost College.
Today's gonna be a big day on South Padre Island, but what should you do first? A big breakfast with friends sounds pretty good, but you really wanted to paddle out and see the sunrise from the water. Breakfast or boarding or breakfast? How about boarding, then breakfast? That was easy. Choosing what to do on South Padre Island. That's as hard as it gets. Visit sopadre.com. Today's gonna be a big day on South Padre Island, but what should you do first? A big breakfast with friends sounds pretty good, but you really wanted to paddle out and see the sunrise from the water. Breakfast or boarding or breakfast? How about boarding, then breakfast? That was easy. Choosing what to do on South Padre Island. That's as hard as it gets. Visit sopadre.com.
Welcome back. So tonight we kick off the Highway 83 League. I actually invited Coach Oscar Segovia to come by, but he's a little busy getting things ready to get things going down at Donna North tonight. So starting tonight, it'll be Monday and Wednesday through the month of July. We'll have coverage at the Highway 83 Summer League, and then eventually lead into a tournament into that final week. So this is a league that's gone on for many years. If you're a volleyball fan, or if your kids are in volleyball, you'll probably be familiar with the Highway 83. Traditionally in Donna North, I know last year they had one at Donna North and at Brownsville Rivera. And I think the year before they hosted it at Harlingen and at Donna. But this year we put on a headset for the first time tonight. Him and one of our buddies, Americo, we're all going to put a good collective effort in tonight on getting this coverage rolling here in the month of July with volleyball. It's the next sport up alongside with football. So Coach Oscar Segovia, they had a little bit of schedule issues, teams dropping out, teams filling in. So I finally got my hands on the schedule. I was letting you guys know in the WhatsApp that, the schedule was coming, and then they updated it yesterday, and I'm like, okay, the schedule's there, but I'm chilling. It's the 4th. I'm sure everyone else was chilling. I'm like, there's no harm in getting this out tomorrow morning.
No, absolutely.
Everyone's hanging out right now, but either way, so first game tonight, first match is tonight at 6. So the first match is at 6. And that's going to be Valley View against Weslaco East. And then the next match will follow right after that. So the first match is at 6, and then it just says match 2, 3, 4, and 5. The second match will be Edinburgh High and PSJ Southwest. The third match will be Monte Alto and Weslaco East. And the fourth match will be Valley View and PSJ Southwest, and then the final match will be Edinburgh and Monte Alto. And this is all on the first court. On the second court, we'll have a little bit of a different look. On the first match again at 6, it'll be Mercedes and Donna, and then it'll be PSJ Memorial and Weslaco East. and then Donna North will be taking on Donna Gold. And then the final game will be PSJ Memorial and Donna North. So there's 2 courts. So we'll be on one side, our other crew will be on the other, and have you seen the way they've done that in the past?
This will be the first time I've seen
Yeah, it's a little different because they run the two courts right next to each other. So then instead of going in, from right to left, left to right, they're going to be one here, and they'll be going each side back and forth like this. So it'll make for an interesting night, especially for everyone who hasn't been to these leagues. But any thoughts at all? Any teams you're familiar with? Or I know you said you're a little out of the loop, but you'll be in it quicker than you think.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a couple perennial playoff teams that are always represented in as far as the Valley goes, and some of the Donna schools have very good teams, and they've always been coached very well. The mission schools as well, coached very well. Edinburgh, as the Valley continues to expand to kind of close that gap, from places outside of the Valley, we get more competitive. That's part of what's good about these leagues is that it's great practice going into the actual season. This is a pre-off season, and it really does give a lot of good exposure to the younger kids. Good practice. A lot of those kids that are fighting for a varsity spot. They're on the line between JV and varsity. This gives them an opportunity to go out there and work hard. And so in particular, I'm not looking at any school, specifically, but I'm just kind of looking at overall play, looking at some of the younger players and seeing how they're taking those next steps forward to become varsity players.
Right. That's a good way to put it. You sound like you're an athletic director. You're looking at it from an athletic director's point of view, where some kids are on the bubble. And I know I had a friend who he's an incoming sophomore at Edinburgh North, and right when I was about to ask him the question, he said, "Well, I haven't gone to strength and conditioning," and I was like, "Why?" I was about to ask you, how is strength and conditioning going? And he said, "I just haven't gone." And he's like, I'm working out at home. And I'm like, well, that's great, but that's extra. I was like, you can get your behind in strength and conditioning tomorrow.
Absolutely.
I was like, if there's anything a coach does not like is an athlete that does not commit to strength and conditioning. So I kind of got onto him a little bit. And the next morning he sent me a text with a picture. He's like, "I'm here."
Good.
I was like, good for you, because I was already ready to pick you up and take you if I had to myself.
Absolutely.
But yeah, totally. That's how these coaches see it. That's how I see it. You familiar with 7-on-7?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so 7-on-7, it's kind of like an acquired taste, really, if you're covering it. Some coaches don't value it, some do. And the ones that do, you see them like the LaFerias, Mercedes, Mission Veterans, Nikki Rowe. Sometimes the Sherrylands have a couple of good teams when it comes to 7-on-7. And they make that run to the state tournament in late June that just actually wrapped up a couple weeks ago. But the way I see 7-on-7 is, if you have a new quarterback, you can learn who that new quarterback is. You can kind of see what he's like. Can he throw? How can he throw? How is he going to mesh with the new receivers? And then also you can look at the receivers from their standpoint. If they have new receivers, how quickly do they learn the route tree? Are they good route runners? What's their chemistry like with the quarterback? And then the third thing, I look at 3 things, and then the third thing is the DBs, the corners. Just how quick are you? And especially when you get to the state level, you learn pretty quick on how quick you really are. So that on parallel with these volleyball leagues. You mentioned there's a lot of these girls that are on the bubble. Some might be fighting for spots. Some might not be fighting for spots. But yeah, that's a great way to look into these summer leagues.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's an extra opportunity to compete against somebody that doesn't wear the same jersey as you.
Mm-hmm.
And, as athletic directors, as coaches, we cannot force the kids to go to practice. And we cannot force the kids to go to strength and conditioning in the offseason, just like they cannot force us to play them during the season.
Right.
It all comes down to putting the time in. You look at the programs up the valley, up the state, that really do great things. The Austin Westlakes, the South Lake Carrolls, and their sports year, 100%, year round, and they get into it, and they're getting bigger and stronger and faster. And I tell the student athletes everywhere, that I come across, not just at my own school, but those kids put the time in right now. And right now is the time. You get to your actual season, and you're not going to end up doing a lot of strength and conditioning. You are, of course, going to maintain. You're going to try to build off of what you have during the off season, but you're playing your sport. It's very specific to the time. You're game planning, and you're looking at a bunch of different things within the sport itself. So right now is the time, regardless of sport. It really doesn't matter. If you're a basketball player, right now is the time to be trying to work on your vertical right now. and shooting extra, shots in the gym. And, volleyball players are the same exact way. Soccer players the same way. And right now is the time to get into it. And 7-on-7 isn't always something that's looked at as necessary in every single program. You have a run-based team or a defense-based team. A lot of the times they don't put the same emphasis on 7-on-7. But at the same time, it's time to practice against somebody else. And like you said, you might think you're fast when you're running against yourself.
Yeah.
But you actually get onto the court. You actually get onto the field, and it's different. It's live, and you have to raise your competition level, and it just brings out the very best in an athlete. It really does.
100%. So tonight, we'll kick off our coverage at the Highway 83. We'll be on our premium channel. If you haven't yet, make sure you download the app. It's free on your Apple or your Android device. Just type in Real Sports Live, and then there you'll see the list of channels, stuff we have there on the demand that you can always go back and watch. But tonight will be on the premium at the Highway 83. And again, we're gonna get a little blend of everything. We're gonna do some teaching. We're gonna do some announcing. I'm gonna shoot some photos to get some photos up there on social media. I know that's another thing we're trying to push this summer is our social media. We probably have one of the better social media accounts, so we're proud of that. So we're gonna try and push that to get that going. And then tomorrow night, so tonight it's the Highway 83, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays will be the Venom League run by my friend Missy Lowry down at the Wellness Center. So here's the lineup for the teams that will be there. PSJ High, Sherryland, Harlingen High, Robert Vela, Edinburgh North, McAllen Memorial, Mac High, Los Fresnos, Nicky Rowe, Harlingen South, Sherryland Pioneer, and Palmview.
Yeah, it's a great lineup.
Yes.
Great lineup. Absolutely, it'll be an incredibly competitive tournament. Whether it's off season or not, right now there's going to be a lot of competition in that tournament.
Oh yeah. This Venom League, we've covered it for a few years now in the summer, and Missy does an excellent job down there at the Wellness Center. And the first game's at 5, so this is what I remember from the Venom League. First game's at 5, which means I'm there by 4. Last game was at 8:45, so in some cases you're leaving at 10. But probably not the case this year. I mean, I think. Let's see. There's 2, 4, 6. There's 6 games, so I think we'll shoot for 4 and 4 on each court. 8 games in one night, 2 different courts. We'll figure that out later. But that's a lot of volleyball here in the next week, in the next coming month. And I know some people were upset that all y'all do is talk about softball. I'm like, well, we're in June. We're in the month in May. What are you going to else expect? You want us to talk about football? I'm like, so now we're in the month of July. Get ready for a whole lot of volleyball all the month of July, and then we're going to get into football. So people can be silly like that. You're gonna if you haven't learned already how some people can be funny, you'll certainly see it here with our coverage and stuff. But I mean, dang, PSJ High, they're a favorite to win that 31-6A. Sherryland, I mean, in my opinion, they were head and shoulders above most teams here in the Valley, although that 31-5A district, which Vela, Sherryland, McAllen Memorial, Mac High, Rowe, Pioneer. So half of that league is the 31-5A district.
An extremely competitive 31-5A
Oh, yeah.
district.
Oh, yeah.
That in every single sport.
Yeah.
In every single sport.
Yeah, last year the 31-5A for volleyball was just tooth and nails, man. I mean, you had Sherryland High, who was state ranked. You had the 3 McAllens, who were state ranked at one point. Pioneer peeked their head in a rebuild year, mind you. They turned some heads, and they were state ranked for just a little bit. So last year, if you were a volleyball fan, 31-5A was the bomb, yo.
One to watch. Yes.
They were awesome, and it's funny because last year we had a media day in Aransas Pass, and we had some of the Coastal Bend football teams come on, and Joe and I were talking like you and I are here, and we went through a little bit of volleyball. We were touching up on it, and Joe loves to do it where he's like, all right, I'm going to put you on the spot. Who's the best team? Because he knows I'll answer. I'm not shy. I'll answer it, and I'll make a prediction. I'm not shy. So he goes, best volleyball team we got. I'm like, Sherryland. Who's going to win that 31-5? Sherryland. I said, Sherryland's going to win the 31-5A district. You just watch. He goes, whoa. Is it over Mac High, over Memorial, over Rowe? I was like, I know, but just Sherryland will win the district. So So then about 2 weeks later, we had a volleyball media day, and Kenny and Cassandra and America from Sherryland, they came by and they said, "Hey, did you really pick us to win the district?" I was like, "Yeah." So go out and do it.
Absolutely.
Go out and do it.
And looking forward, I mean, that's a team that could definitely come back and repeat, you know, as district champs, and you know, they're going to be competitive. It's an extremely well coached school. I mean, just in every single sport, they excel. As this Pioneer, you know, Pioneer, even for a rebuilding year, like you said, for them to get close and, you know, start to scratch the surface of, you know, that district title, stuff like that. You know, so much of it comes back to their administration, their coaching, the amount of effort that goes into it by the kids. I mean, they do a great job out there.
Yep, and see, Raul Castillo, the coach down at Sherryland, I mean, that's all they do is volleyball. His wife, Lorena, was a longtime coach at McCallum Memorial, so that's all that family does is volleyball. And then, of course, Coach Laura Cavazos used to coach at Sherryland, and now she's at the sister school at Pioneer. So, I mean, it's just very rich volleyball, you know, in the Sherryland area. And I mean, before Pioneer, I mean, you had the McCallans, and, you know, and you had the big three, you know, with Paula Dodge. Lorena was there at Memorial, and then at Mac, we had Paula Dodge at Mac High, and you had forgive me, my names are slipping. It's July. Coach from McAllen Row. It'll come back to me in like 2 seconds. But you had your big three there, and you know, of course, Coach Paula Dodge retired, and then they had Coach Smith, who just came in for a couple of years, and now they have Coach Portillo, who came over from PSJ Memorial. So a brand new coach there for Mac High, but you know, it's a little bit of a different feel there because Coach Dodge was there for so long. You know, the last 25 years they've had the same coach, and now, you know, within the last 5 years they're on their third different coach.
Right.
So, but the expectation stays the same for McAllen volleyball, and that's to win a district title and to go to the regional tournament. You know, and of course, Coach Daphne at McAllen Memorial, I thought she's done a great job filling in for Coach Castillo, who, again, same deal. New coach, different era, but the expectation level stays the same. And Rowe has been tooth and nails with volleyball for as long as I can remember.
Absolutely.
So when you saw the realignment and when you saw them mix in with Pioneer and what they had, and then you saw the Sherrylands and then them blending in and mixing in, and see, Vela didn't make the playoffs last year, and I thought you put them in any other district, they either win the district or they're a top 2 team. With what they had last year, you know, they had Emma Lucio go out and play volleyball. And, you know, they had Faye Vasquez, who was a beast in the front row. But, you know, that just speaks to the depth of that district.
Absolutely. All the way around, you know, and McAllen, and they do a great job training their athletes as well. You know, they've got club teams and, you know, different opportunities out there for the kids to excel and continue to improve their game. They do a great job.
So if it's not 31-5A, well, what's the next best district? You look across the way into this neck of the woods. You know, the 32-5A was also very competitive with Brownsville Pace. They were a heck of a team. And then you look at Brownsville Veterans. You know, so it makes for a tremendous bi-district round because when you look at the 31-5A, sure, Mac High may be a 4 seed or a Row may be a 3 seed with 6 losses, but that doesn't mean much.
No.
If you look at those losses, it's Sherryland, Pioneer, Mac High, Memorial. They're all quality losses.
Absolutely.
Right.
You put them in another district like you'd alluded to, and, you know, they're competing for that title without a doubt.
Absolutely.
So that bi-district round gets really interesting when you have, you know, 2 seeds, 3 seeds playing each other from here and there, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, sports just all the way around.
Yeah, when essentially it's a preview of what could be, circle back to maybe a third round matchup with the way everything lines up, and then now we have, when I say we, the Valley, you have the 29-5A district right above us. With the Corpus Christi Veterans, the Flower Bluffs of the world, which can be a little tough at times.
Absolutely.
You know, Victoria East last year, that's who Sherryland played in that third round, and they blew right past them. So we've seen volleyball take a really good step in the right direction. But, yeah, so if it ain't 32-5A, sticking in the 5As, you know, what's the next tough district? 32-6A.
Right.
Right here in the neck of the woods. And you're familiar with Los Fresnos and Coach Becky Woods, the great Becky Woods, and what she built there in Los Fresnos, and how well Los Fresnos volley, because they're the 8th team listed on this roster here, and I'm like, dang, that's good.
Right, absolutely. And Los Fresnos did a great job. You know, ever since I was there historically, they've done a really good job building their programs. They do a great job picking their head coaches. Their athletic director does a great job placing people, and they work really hard. They've got a great strength and conditioning program. They're very much well known for their powerlifting, and and it shows in every aspect. They come out and they compete. It's a one-horse town, and the entire town gets behind, the entire city gets behind, the school, and there's a lot of support out there. And the athletic director's done a great job continuing some of the traditions that have been built up for the last 25, 30 years. They've always been competitive, and they always will be, because it's the mindset that the kids have going into the season.
Yep, and just yesterday we were talking about these one-horse towns that still have one school, and just tinkering with the idea, like, will San Benito ever make a second high school? I don't think so. Will Los Fresnos ever make a second high school? I don't think so. They even, and this is just talking with your guys, Harlingen, would they even ever think about building a third high school? I was like, no, it's just things like that you don't want to touch. Just politically is too much, athletically. But we were talking about Los Fresnos, how they're that 6A school with one school, one town, and you look at their athletic program from a whole. Swimming, they've won 8 district titles in a row. They just went through the Jada Ashford era, who's a potential Olympian one day maybe. Football, they're always going to have numbers. They're always going to have size. They're always going to be in the playoffs. Softball has been on the upswing there in the last 5 to 8 years. Volleyball is volleyball. They're a perennial power.
Always good.
Boys basketball, they would just, went through a 6-peat with Marco Hinojosa. Girls basketball, same thing. They're always going to have numbers, size. They're going to compete. They're going to win games. Girls soccer, Los Fresnos too.
Yes.
Very, very strong. So
they play in a tough district. They come out and they play some of the Brownsville schools, and Brownsville soccer is second to none. It really is not. So
Los
Fresnos having to compete against your Ribetas and your Hannas, stuff like that. It's great work for them, great competition for them, and they've raised their competition level, amongst themselves as well, and they've done great with their volleyball program, great with their track program as well. They come out and they run hard every single year.
Yep.
So they're well represented amongst schools in the valley, and they're going to fight, and they want to go as far as they can in every sport. It doesn't matter what it is. They're going to try to continue their season, elongate the season every single sport.
So you have Los Fresnos, Harlingen, the only ones out of 32-6A. I caught myself. I was going to say there's Harlingen South, but they're in 5A now. They're in 32-5A. But, Harlingen, too, they're coming off a couple of really good years, with Casey Vidal and Julie Bryant. Those two girls are now graduated, so they're going to have their work cut out for them in that 32-6A district. But, looking at this Venom lineup, like we were saying, it's a really impressive lineup. And again, we'll run through it one more time. PSJ, Sherryland, Harlingen, Vela, Edinburgh North, McAllen Memorial, Mac High, Los Fresnos, Rowe, Harlingen South, Palmview, and Sherryland Pioneer. So starting tomorrow, the first match is at 5, and it'll be Sherryland and PSJ right out of the gate. That's going to be great. Even though 6A and a 5A, they won't see each other in the postseason. But that's an excellent match to kick things off. And then on the second court, you have Harlingen and you have Palmview. The second game at 5:45, you have the 2 and the 12. So you have Sherryland and Palmview, and then you have PSJ going up against Harlingen. That's a potential playoff matchup right there sometime down the road. The 6:30 game, you have Mac High, and then you have Los Fresnos. That's pretty darn good. And then you have Pioneer taking on Edinburgh Vela. And then in the 8 o'clock slate, you have McAllen Memorial going up against Nicky Rowe. And then you have Harlingen South taking on Edinburgh North. And then the 8:45 game, you have the 9 and the 5. That's Nicky Rowe and Edinburgh North. And then you have a 10 and a 4, so that's Edinburgh Vela against Harlingen South. So
not an easy game in the group.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of really competitive matches, and that's just day one. That's July 6th, so that's tomorrow.
Tomorrow's games.
So that's going to be a whole lot of fun. Again, Missy Lowry, shout out to her, Andrew Garza, all our peeps down there at the Wellness Center. And, of course, Coach Segovia, who we're going to be seeing here in a couple of hours down at the 83 at Donna North. So pretty excited. Again, if you're a volleyball fan and if you want to watch some quality volleyball to kind of get your fix before the regular season, come on by on the Highway 83 Mondays and Wednesdays at Donna North. If not, go down to the Wellness Center Tuesdays and Thursdays in Edinburgh for the Venom League. We're always going to encourage fans to go and watch these games and to support. We're there for you if you cannot make it. If you're at work, if you're out of town, put the game on, or if you're feeling sick, put the game on. You can watch it from your home. So, again, Monday, Wednesday, the 83, Tuesday, Thursday, the Venom League. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more with Calvin and maybe his little backstory. He actually went to school down the road here at St. Joe for a couple of years. He knows Tino Villarreal a little quite well.
I do, absolutely. I played football for him when I was in high school, and Coach Tino's done a great job. He really has.
We'll talk more about that when we come back from Luke Faria.
You're watching Real Sports Live.
Traigo 100 kilos de ropa, lo que se me antoja, dinero en el banco. Muchas me andan criticando, pues traigo carrazos que como le hago. Tengo aseguro del bueno, pronto y flexible y sale barato. Es mi corrido humilde, que no se te olvide que me ando ahorrando.
Ask your agent how you can start saving with Pronto. Best price in town.
Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles, located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, is filled with vintage items, collectibles, and a selection of vinyl records that's as good as it gets. Every shelf, every aisle, and table is filled daily by a number of vendors that ensures that something here just might be the item you have to have. The vinyl record area helps bring an added atmosphere that makes for the fun trip when stepping back in time with the memories. Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles in San Benito.
Our service is unmatched. Our commitment to our team and our community, relentless. Our products are innovative and exciting. Fruya, we're what's next now.
Hi, I'm Rod Rodriguez, and I'm a partner with New York Life Insurance Company. For 170 years, New York Life has built a reputation for building some of the finest agents in the industry. I helped to manage that process from day one. If you're looking to challenge yourself and build an insurance and financial service business, then I would like to show you how I can help.
Ibanez Tortilleria, serving up freshly made in-house corn and flour tortillas since 1994. Try delicious menudo, tasty barbacoa, fresh tamales, tacos, pareadas with juicy grilled chicken, and tender fajitas. On Mondays, buy one barbacoa taco and get one free if you mention that you're a Bloodhound fan. Located at 4726 Paredes Line Road, Brownsville, Texas. Open every day at 6:30 a.m. till 9 p.m. To order, contact 956-541-9594.
Welcome back. So we talked a little bit about Juan Diego Academy and what's going on with them as we roll into the new school year, and then we broke down a little bit of volleyball, probably more than I thought. But once I get talking, it's hard to stop. But yeah, so the Venom Leagues. I was just on the phone with Jason Benavides. He'll be meeting us down at Donna North later this afternoon. For the 83 and for the Venom League, so we're excited about that. So, Calvin, you said you went to school at Brownsville St. Joe for a couple years, and you also went to school in Los Fresnos. Tino's in this place quite often, and in fact, he was who helped us get our foot in the door here with Luke Faria Motors. Tomas and Lucky Edge, their pops. He's El Mero Mero here, John Edge. So we covered Tomas and Lucky when they were at Veterans and at St. Joe throughout their high school career. So we love coming here on Wednesdays, and it's a staple for us now this entire school year. But Tino.
Coach Redial, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I was lucky enough to go to two different high schools, both great schools, focus on academics and both very competitive when it comes to athletics. And I went to St. Joe my last 2 years, so I was there my junior and my senior year. And before that, I went to Los Fresnos, and I was there, from 6th through 10th grade. And Coach David Gunn, the head coach right now, is actually my coach as a freshman in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And he coached quarterbacks, and he ran the offense in the position that I played. And so I was really familiar with him and how he's done things. I've followed his career too, as he's moved around from Rivera to veterans, back over to Los Fresnos, and he's taken over the program. And they've made the playoffs last 2 years running, and won a playoff game 2 years ago, and they've done very well for themselves, and I'm quite proud of the tradition that's there. And I'm looking to cover some of their games, and hopefully refamiliarize myself with a lot of the people that run the school. They've got a lot of great coaches there too. 2 or 3 of the guys that I went to high school with are currently assistant coaches there throughout, not necessarily on the varsity team, but some on the JV and some of the junior highs as well. But they've done a great job. They try extremely hard. That you can tell they have an absolute passion for the game. They love doing it, and they're doing great things. And the same thing at St. Joe. The expectations are high once again. For both schools, as they always are. And Tino's kind of set those expectations really high, and he's done a great job, building a program and building a strength and conditioning program, and the kids buy into it, and they're participating in a lot of different things outside of sports themselves within their season. So you look at what Tino does, and again, the expectations are quite high going into this year too. They're expected not to just make the playoffs, but win a game or two. Everyone's trying to get past that second game of the year of the playoffs. You get past that San Antonio barrier is what everyone's trying to do, and I think they're trying to close the gap, and it's exciting for everyone in general. You have a lot of teams across the valley. Your PSJ in North is going to be extremely competitive again, and you've got a lot of schools that are trying to really get past that second, third round and play towards Thanksgiving. And both of the schools that I was lucky enough to be a part of are very much in the same boat and building towards things. And I think we'll be covering games of theirs 2 or 3 weeks into November. And it's a testament to the kids, how hard they work, but also the administration and how they put things together as well.
Yeah, Tino, I've gotten to know him really well I think I've known him for almost 10 years now. Joe as well. We've been very lucky. They have their channel, their Bloodhound channel, which him, Luigi Cristiano, happy belated. His birthday was yesterday. I call him Papa Luigi. They were up in Europe, Italy, Milan, or wherever they
vacationing during the summer.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
they work year round. They have to get some time in as well.
Yeah. They go on these really cool vacations. Tino's allowed myself to go and travel with the teams like when we first met, and it's a pretty cool different sight that you get. It's a different view you get of what these kids go through. The off-season workouts, Midnight Madness, which you're invited to hang out with. Have you been to it?
I know what it is. I've never been myself.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Looking forward to it.
It's a cool deal. Yeah, the Midnight Madness is always fun, and that's one thing that Tino really loves to do, and he loves to take it in. And this year, man, they got some pretty high expectations. They got Claudio Torres back, who he's already a legend at St. Joe.
Absolutely.
And the kids got 2 more years, including this one, junior and senior year. But, the quarterback position's going to be great. They got, Sebastian coming back, and then they got Gavin, who's also a new face on campus, Gavin Cisneros. And, so those two are going to duke it out at quarterback. Last year, Tino was blessed with QB1, Ethan Gallegos, who was a transfer from Westlaco. I thought he did a tremendous job on filling in for Big Lou, Luigi Cristiano. But they have a lot back. They have Big Diego de la Cruz, who's going to be a junior, great kid on and off the field. You have Lucas Cristiano, of course, coming back, and then you have he's going to be a sophomore. And then you have JP Vidauri coming back as well. So there's plenty of weapons coming back. Not only Lucas, but Andre. Lucas is going to be a senior. Andre is going to be a sophomore. But you have the Cristiano brothers coming back. So there's plenty of weapons for St. Joe on the football side of things. The volleyball side of things, they're going to be pretty stacked too.
Absolutely, they usually are. They're very competitive.
Mm-hmm. Now the thing too is like, man, the gym is fun to be in, but during volleyball season,
it's a different environment. It really is.
Yeah, there's no AC, and we all together have to soldier through it. And I'm like, well, I'm just sitting here, but the girls are out there, the ones running around, but they're used to it, and that's kind of a home court advantage with Coach O and what she's got going on there.
Absolutely. Advantage, disadvantage, depends on how it is going at the time, of course. But yeah, absolutely, it's a different environment, but they do a great job packing them in. Excuse me. There's great support amongst the community as well, and so they'll be there and they'll be screaming as hard as they can, and cheering them on as hard as they can too, and both programs have done very well for themselves over the last couple of years, and that's what happens. You start to see some success, and those expectations are raised, and you've got to raise the bar higher, and you got to continue to maintain good practices and good practice just in general, and that's what they've been able to do. So I'm looking forward to refamiliarizing myself too with a lot of the student athletes and the sports themselves, and I think St. Joe's done a great job. They really have. They've expanded their athletic programs by a lot, and I think they'll continue to.
Yeah, no, they're poised for a big year, just athletically. The boys soccer team, they made it all the way to the state championship.
Yeah.
They just barely, man, that was such a close game. They barely lost. I still have the video of that ball just barely creeping in on maybe about 2 or 3 inches off. That ball goes in, and it's a completely different game. But, the boys, they went to the state championship. Basketball had a great year. They had Jerry. My boy Sammy's going to have his work cut out for him. It's hard to replace a guy like Jimmy, Bernie, and, of course, a guy like Jerry. So, girls basketball, Coach Moreno, they're on the upswing. They did lose Dre to graduation, but they still have Reggie coming back, and they got a lot of good pieces around her that are all coming back. It's going to be a big year for St. Joe athletically. But what's in front of us is football and volleyball, and I'm expecting some pretty good things from both Tino and Coach O. But Los Fresnos, too. We're be prepared to head out to Leo Aguilar Memorial Stadium, which, to me, that's got to be one of the tougher places to play.
It is.
Right?
It is. It's always been a huge home field advantage for the student athletes that attend Los Fresnos, and they've always, again, it's another one of those places where the community is so behind their athletic programs, and you go there and it's loud and it's intimidating. You walk in and you feel the energy coming off of the stands, and it's a tough place to play. It really is.
And then the wind too. There's always the weather. You're right by the water, so the wind, especially when it's cold. I don't know. Just to me, it's one of the tougher places to play. I know my senior year in high school, we played Los Fresnos. In Los Fresnos, and we won. But it was not easy. But from then in the fall of 2009 till now, I always remember how that place was just very tough to play, and then being able to cover games there, for many years. This place is always a tough place to play down in Los Fresnos, right off Highway 100.
Yep, and it's right there, and it's lit up. You can see it from the expressway kind of thing.
Yeah,
you exit on 100, and you see the stadium lights from there. And you can feel the energy as soon as you get close to it. You can feel the drums, hear the drums, and it's just an amazing place to play. The southeast wind does hit you in a certain direction, so you've got to be smart with how you do things. But that's all part of the game planning. And David Cantu obviously played there, knows what he's doing. And he'll have the kids ready to go this year, absolutely, without a doubt. I expect a lot of good things out of Los Fresnos this year too. They're returning freshman, sophomore at quarterback, as well, and they're very athletic, kind of thing. And last year was kind of not a rebuild necessarily, but they were going through a couple different things last year.
Sure, growing pains,
and they're still extremely competitive. I think they've found their kids in a lot of different positions, and so second year into the program, another year, off training, off season training, and they'll get better. And I expect great things. I think they'll be very competitive, competing for a district title this year.
Right, and this is year 3 under Coach Cantu. So now the verbiage there, the program is there, the product has been sold. You saw that last year where they were a step ahead of where they were to when he got there. Because remember, when he got there, we were still in the COVID-19 cloud where he was a little hamstringed on what he was able to do. I remember that because I always remind him that I was in quarantine in a hotel room with the whole COVID deal, and I was still finding ways to work, but David Cantu had gotten the job. And, hey, how's it going, Kevin? I'm like, do you really want to know?
Yeah.
I'm in quarantine in a random hotel room by myself, but here I
And you got to find ways, unfortunately.
You got to find ways.
Yeah,
you got to find ways. But no, the point being that, everyone was hamstringed by that year, 2020, 2021. And now, this is year 3 with under what they're doing. And again, what's on deck is volleyball, and Coach Anissa Lucio. She's got a very good track record. She's on the upswing as far as coaches go. She did a good job at Westlaco. I felt she really took that next step at Harlingen South. A couple of years there, making the playoffs. And at that time, 32-6A was as tough as any. And then she took over down in Los Fresnos, and they got big expectations again this year.
Absolutely, and they should. meet and exceed those expectations. All goes according to plan, and you've got to stay healthy. It's one of those things, and a lot of the season can be determined by availability of your athletes as well. And they academically they're always very, very good school. So they don't really have to worry about anything like that. But injuries come and they go, and that's part of the off-season program. Is getting your body right and getting ready for that season, because it's demanding. It is. Every single sport has its processes, and they need to be healthy to get through it.
100%. So Calvin Cadell, again, he's just recently joined our Rio Sports Live family, and today he's making his debut with us here on our weekly show. We're going to head down the road to Donna North and get the feet wet. And, again, collectively we're going to work together and bringing you guys some quality volleyball, not only today but tomorrow, and really just pencil it in throughout the month of July. At the end of July, we're going to have some boxing. That's in the on-deck circle. And then in the hole, we have some Pony World Series. So that's later down the line. So I'm a baseball guy, so you're going to get all these references. Sorry.
No,
but yeah, so we do have a month packed of stuff here in the month of July. Again, with the volleyball, we got some Pony World Series later this month, and we got some boxing. That'll all lead us right into the new school year. Yeah, it's here, the new school year. It's
here.
We ended our showcase at the end of June, and I didn't realize that June was gone.
That's that. Yeah,
June's
like, done.
Half the summer's gone.
Absolutely. After we celebrate Independence Day, from there, it's time for the season. Off season starts, and we're in season already.
We are, and then we collectively, as an athletic director, us at Rio Sports Live, we all work in unison together, and
absolutely.
You go as the sports go, we go as the sports go, and we're all part of the athletic calendar year. Once football, volleyball comes, we're in that mode, and then we translate into basketball. Basketball will translate into the spring, softball, baseball, track, soccer.
Tennis, everything else that goes into it.
Yeah.
Yes, of course,
yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. So that wraps up our show here in Brownsville. Again, welcome Calvin here to our family here at Real Sports Live. We're happy to have you. We're going to be doing some volleyball later this evening, tomorrow, and really the rest of the week. So be sure to tune into the premium channel, and you'll catch us there at Donna North tonight and at the Wellness Center tomorrow. So, Calvin, any final words? Sign off?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to growing and expanding with Rio Sports. I think we're doing great things, for the exposure, for the student athletes and for everyone involved. It's not just the student athletes and the coaches, but the administration and, all the people that work behind the scenes. And I'm grateful and thankful, and I'm, looking forward to working with everyone.
Sweet. We'll be back next week, same time. Maybe we'll have a athletic director from, I don't know, Harlingen, San Benito, Brownsville. I was really looking down, and everyone's out on vacation.
Next week or so might be difficult.
Yeah, next week might be a little difficult. We'll find someone to come on and join us next week. But that's Calvin.